thoughts that ran through my mind after the accident happened was I knew I was hurt bad. I knew I was hurt bad. And but I also was thankful because I knew it could be worse. My name is Cindy Nixon, and I've been paralyzed. August 3rd was 17 years ago. The day of my accident, we were at Lake Hartwell, and we were having a great time. We went for the weekend, and it was beautiful. It was just a beautiful weekend. We skied, we were on jet skis. We couldn't have had more fun. And on that Sunday, we were going to leave to go home, but then decided to go back out in the boat one more time. And we went out in the boat. We were with some friends, Tommy and Tammy Griffith and their kids, and I have 2 kids, and my husband. We were all together, and first we went to some rocks where everybody was jumping off these rocks, and it was way up, and it looked really, really dangerous to me. It freaked me out, really. I really thought somebody was going to get hurt. So, but we did that, and then after that, they went over to the swing, and I guess after seeing the rocks, the swing looked pretty harmless to me. And I remember I was in the boat watching people on the swing. There was some really big college guys on the swing. They were, doing, and all of a sudden I thought, I think I'm going to try that. I don't see any way I could get hurt unless the rope broke. If it didn't break with them, I can't imagine that it would break with me. So I decided to do it, which no one could believe because I am scared of heights, and you had to climb up a tree, and it was up pretty high. So something about the water, though, I think I'm always a little more, I guess, brave when I get in the water. So anyway, I went ahead and did it, climbed up, started swinging on the rope, and I think I had put lotion on myself, on the kids, on everybody right before I went up, not thinking. But as I started down, I could not hold on to save my life. I mean, my hands were slippery. And like I say, it was up high, and so I fell. But as I fell, I hit the ground first, and it was like a pretty high embankment. But the momentum, I kept going, and I did go into the lake. And as I did, though, I flipped over, and I went to the bottom of the lake and hit the bottom of the lake with my back. And I was paralyzed immediately when that happened. There are things I can't do that I could do before the accident, but there's not a lot. I mean, you just find different ways of doing things, I guess. Honestly, I don't really think a lot about what I can't do. I just don't think about what I can't do. I just have to concentrate on what I can do and be thankful for what I can do. Of course, I had to change everything. I had to learn new ways of doing things. And I would say it's affected my life to really make me more, I think I'm more thankful for things. And sometimes I think maybe I even panic a little bit about that I have to take advantage of every minute while I can. I mean, because I think you don't know, and I think the accident has made me think, I don't know what next year's going to be, and I don't know what the next year's going to be, and so I try to do what I can now. Before my accident, I probably just took friends and family more for granted than I should have, because one thing I found out with my accident, you don't get through things like this, a traumatic anything, without your friends and your family. I mean, I can't imagine. When I think about when I was in the hospital at, where was I? I was in Greenville at the trauma center. There was a few people at the trauma center that really didn't have family. There were some people at Shepherd that didn't have family, and how they did it, I don't know. I mean, I cannot imagine that. And I think I've just really, really, I always have loved my family. I've always appreciated them, but I think after my accident, I really, really appreciated my family. As far as people maybe turning their back or not doing. I did not experience that at all. I experienced, my husband and I used to joke and laugh because I would say, most people have to die for people to come around and say all these wonderful things to, you know, about them or whatever. And I always would laugh and say, I didn't have to die. I just had to come close, but I didn't have to actually die. But I really found out that people are so good after my accident, and people rallied around me in a way that I could have never been able to get through what we went through. I was gone for 3 months. When I always think about when I left the house that weekend, never did I dream it would be over 3 months before I came back home. Being away from my children was so hard, and that was probably the hardest, was being away from them. But I never felt alone, and I never felt, even though it was hard, I was able to handle it because people, it's unbelievable how people were and how people just rallied around, and any little thing I needed, I could even think it in my head, and there it would be. I would not even have to speak it. I could think it, and there was nothing that I didn't need, that my family didn't need, that wasn't taken care of. And it's amazing. God played such a big role in, I always say, he knew every person that I needed in my life. He knew that beforehand. He knew I was going to need a husband that was strong. And I can remember my mom saying, you know, I really believe there's nothing that you two together cannot do. But I think, but you know, God knew that ahead of time, but that's what I needed. God knew ahead of time that I needed a mother, that the days that I am down that would say to me, I mean, she knew. I always say my mom kept me sane. Anytime if I was going to be negative about something, she always could find the positive and always helped me see things, you know, the other way. And it's just made such a huge impact in being able to get through things. You know, if I can add one thing, it's been that I could sit here and say all this. I mean, all this happened, and I have been so blessed, and I feel like I haven't spent time pitying myself on this. But in all that, 2 years ago today, I lost my mom. And it's emotional. I lost her to ovarian cancer. And she has been a lot of my strength. And I just think it's so fitting that today I'm talking about this, because I feel like for 2 years I kind of closed all these things I'm saying. I really haven't been living them like I should. And I think today of all days that I'm sitting here talking about this, I need to be, because I need to remember all the good things that have come from hardships. And I feel like I kind of, maybe in the last 2 years she's been gone, I've kind of shut myself off, and this is helping me see that I cannot do that, because it's so unhealthy, and because just to get through, regardless of whether I'm paralyzed or not, I think, you know, I've almost feel like being physically paralyzed is nothing compared to being emotionally paralyzed or whatever I've been. And so anyway, if I can just add anything, it would just be that I'm just thankful to be able to sit here and talk about this, and I need to listen to myself, and I need to go back and say thank you to God, to everybody, for helping me through this. But also I need to start looking around me again and just being thankful and remembering everything that's been so good.